Hi, everybody. Welcome to the mother of a call, which is the call on the mother. And we've reached this particular stage of working with the mother because Neptune is going direct in just the next few days, in the next 2 days. And because Neptune handles waters, and waters always have to do with our dreams, with our subconscious, with our emotions, with our feelings, the ocean of notions and emotions can get very turbulent right now. In fact, you all may be having experienced this over the last couple of weeks, maybe feeling more emotional than usual, not being able to handle your emotion, having outbursts, feeling withdrawn, can't stop thinking about either somebody or something, like the memory is continuously playing on roads. Like try as you might, you're not being able to let it go. You're not being able to navigate the waves and tidal waves of the ocean as it stands right now. When Neptune goes direct and when he goes retrograde, it's like the ocean bed comes up. So everything that we have suppressed, repressed, depressed, oppressed starts showing up for us. Our lower abdomen can start feeling a little funny. Our chest can start feeling a little funny, like you were doing fine till about 2 weeks back, and now suddenly you don't know why you are feeling like this. All our water stories begin in the womb, where we were raised and brought to life and given life in the presence of water. And the water in the womb is our first connection to our mother. Of course, because of how biology works, we are also connected to her through her fallopian tube, through her ovaries, through her uterus. But it is in the water in the womb that we start living, that we start becoming the shape and form of a human being. This particular water, if it's been turbulent, if it's been unstable, unsteady during the pregnancy, we can end up recreating a lot of that in our lives, especially when Neptune is retrograde. So the first thing I want us to do is do some clearing of the waters of the womb. I want you to close your eyes, make sure you're hydrated. I want you to see yourself standing close to a river bank. Across the river bank is your mother. In between, the river flows. Check. Is the river flowing fully, violently, steadily, calmly? Is it a babbling brook or is it a raging river? If it is not flowing calmly, if it's not flowing steadily, please say, my waters are not steady, you can leave now. My waters are not stable, you can leave now. My river is flowing heavily, you can leave now. See it calming down. Maybe there are some peaks in the river, like minor waves still happening. But as long as it's a steady flow, and also check the speed. Is it like a gush? It's like gushing? Or is it a slow, steady movement? Whether it's gushing or whether it's a slow, steady movement, it's fine. Whatever your relationship with your mother, there is a lot our mother bring to us. Our mothers teach us how to ask and receive. Our mothers reassure and comfort us. Our mothers feed us. Our mothers make sure that we are all right if we have to step out to work, study, play a game, give an exam. Our mothers teach us how to keep a house. Our mothers teach us hospitality, how to treat people when they come over. Our mothers teach us how to receive intimacy and vulnerability in relationships. Our mothers show us how to take care of ourselves. For most of us, it was not our fathers teaching us how to brush our teeth, it was our mothers. Our mothers bring to us etiquette, manners, civilization, breeding, culture. It is our mothers who are in charge of making sure that the rituals and customs of our gender or our community are followed through. It is through our mothers that our lineage continues. There are good things our mothers have done. There are not so good things our mothers have done. I want you to remember the good things. And from your mother on the opposite side of the bank, from whichever body part it comes out, I want you to see this gigantic beam of golden white light coming straight towards you, moving into your body, scanning you from head to toe, scanning your left arm, your right arm. You turn around and it starts scanning your back. Once you have been completely scanned by this golden white light, turn back to face her again and receive this golden white light as a ball in your solar plexus. You will see this ball shining, glowing, radiant, active, energized, empowered. This golden white ball is a Pokemon golden ball. See it start moving all over the body and snapping up all toxins, debris, stagnant energies, dying cells, rotting cells, decaying cells, all the places where there is marshiness and swampiness and haziness. I want you to see these golden balls start moving through the body. And I said golden balls because I saw the ball becoming multiple balls. See it moving all over your head, your brain, your neck, your mouth, your teeth, your eyes, your nose, your ears, your wrists, your knees, your secret places, your uterus, your prostate, your stomach, your heart, your lungs, your liver, your pancreas, your spleen, your large intestine, small intestine, your muscles, your cartilage, your tendons, your bones, cleansing and clearing, cleansing and clearing, cleansing and clearing. What you are seeing right now is the umbilical cord light of the mother and the power of the mother to release us from her baggage, ancestral baggage, as well as past life baggage. Our mothers are our first gods. Both our parents are our first gods, but our mother more so. Because of her, we lived. Because of her, we were born. Because of her, we have life. And as this clearing and cleansing and chomping away at negativities is taking place, when you look at your mother, you see the goddess. Maybe your mother falls away and the goddess is revealed. Or maybe you see the goddess in your mother. Or maybe you see your goddess in front of the mother. And this goddess now sends out multiple million golden white light beams. They enter you and they start absorbing the golden Pokemons. All the golden Pokemons who have been chomping away at everything that is not working for you, is harming you, hurting you, damaging you, all of that is being pulled out into this beam and into the goddess. She knows what to do with it. She'll take care of it. Make sure that you have turned around so that all the golden Pokemons in your back, top of the head, back of the neck, bum, thighs, all of it is being now sent back into the goddess. As you see it going, please bow your head, fold your hand in prayer there as well as here, and say, "Thank you, Ma, for giving me life. Thank you, Ma, for doing your best. Thank you, Ma, for taking care of me. Thank you, Ma, for always being there when I needed you. Thank you, Ma, for loving me the way you knew. Thank you, Ma, for giving me life. Thank you, Ma. Because of you, I am here." Take a couple more seconds. Thank her for everything that is unique to you that your mother did give you, teach you, share with you, show you. And whenever you're done, see your mother return on the opposite end and check, how is she looking at you? How is she looking? Is she different from the mother that you started with? Does she want to say something to you? Is she communicating something? Where you are standing across from your mother, as you turn to look at your left, you see that there is a bridge across the river bank. I want you to start walking towards this bridge. Climb on the bridge. Stand in the middle. Look at your mother. Is she also beginning to get to the base of the bridge and climb over to meet you halfway? If not, please say, "My mother is not being able to come to me. You can leave now. My mother doesn't want to give to me. You can leave now. My mother doesn't want to be forgiven. You can leave now. My mother doesn't know how to be a mother. You can leave now. My mother's afraid of me. You can leave now. My mother's afraid to be your mother. You can leave now. When your mother joins you on the bridge, see if you can hug her. See if you can receive from her. See if you can return everything she dumped on you to carry for her. Secrets, past guilts, habits, criticisms, rejection, abandonment. She would have given them to you because she would have gotten them. Return them to her and see her taking it willingly and throwing it into the river flowing below. Hug her again, receive her hugs again, and whichever side you like, hold hands and go either to the side you've come from or to the other side. See yourselves walking away, and then bring the curtains down and return to my voice in this dimension. Still keeping your eyes closed, start becoming aware of your feet, ankles, calves, shin, knees, thighs, back of the thighs, lower abdomen, hips, pelvis, bum, belly button, waistline, rib cage, chest, shoulders, clavicles, left arm, right arm, entire spinal column at the back of the neck, front of the neck, face, back of the head, top of the head. Have water. Take your time. You would either be releasing still or receiving still. Whenever you're ready, tell me how you're doing. Also check which body part is having the most amount of reactions right now. Is it your head? Is it your stomach? Is it your legs? Is it your arms? And Dilly says, I miss my mom. Dilly, how was it for you? I'm just getting some water, my darlings. Give me a moment. Daisy's arms have needles. Parita says right side of the forehead till shoulder, paining a lot. Sayukta says feeling very energetic. Parita says lot of intensity. And Dilly says all good memories popped up at one go. Fantastic. All right, my darlings, let us do one for my arms have needles. You can leave now. Paining a lot. You can leave now. Bit heavy, you can leave now. Feeling weak, you can leave now. Pain, you can leave now. Heavy big stone in the belly, you can leave now. Tight belly, you can leave now. Lips are burning, you can leave now. Deactivate, disassemble all of this. Deactivated, disassembled all of this. Be gone, be gone, be gone. Removed. Alice says, my mom holding my hand on the bridge, the softest touch. Maya says, felt very happy to see my mom. Miss her. Upper back hurts. You can leave now. Upper back usually has to do with guilt and anxiety. You can leave now. I no longer need to carry my mother's guilt. I no longer need to mimic my mother's guilt. I no longer need to carry my mother's hurts. I no longer need to mimic my mother's hurts. I no longer need to carry my mother's burnings. I no longer need to mimic my mother's burnings. I no longer need to carry my mother's heavy big stones. I no longer need to carry my mother's weaknesses. I no longer need to mimic my mother's weaknesses. I no longer need to mimic my mother's heavy, big stones. I no longer need to carry my mother's pains. I no longer need to carry my mother's needles. I no longer need to mimic my mother's needles. Nishtha says, feeling calm, sleepy, even protected, most amount of reaction in arms. The river was violent and raging. It calmed down after the decrease. Mom looked tired and sad initially. By the end, she looked like a goddess, beautiful, and saw her blessing me and reassuring me that she is there with me. My mom is my very big support. Awesome, my love, awesome. My mother is my very big support. My ma is my world. You can increase now. Farida says, by the river Sacramento, Mom changed into Mother Mary with infant Jesus in her arms. The flowing in the entire process was smooth with a little emotion. I knelt down and said the entire process of receiving, bowing with appreciation and thankfulness. Mom did become big as Mother Mary and reached the bridge. I am receiving fully now. My lower back is hot, no pain. I no longer need to carry my mother's hotness, heatedness. I no longer need to mimic my mother's heatedness. No longer need to carry my mother's anger. I no longer need to mimic my mother's anger. I no longer need to carry my mother's fears. I no longer need to mimic my mother's fears. I no longer need to carry my mother's numbness. I no longer need to mimic my mother's numbness. I no longer need to carry my mother's griefs. I no longer need to mimic my mother's griefs. I no longer need to be weighed down by situations. Being weighed down by situations, you can leave now. Being weighed down by situations, deactivate, disassemble. Deactivated, disassembled. I no longer need to carry my mother's discomfort in the knees. I no longer need to mimic my mother's discomfort in the knees. I no longer need to carry my mother's disorders. I no longer need to mimic my mother's disorders. I no longer need to carry my mother's insanities. I no longer need to mimic my mother's insanities. I no longer need to carry my mother's illnesses. I no longer need to mimic my mother's illnesses. I no longer need to carry my mother's diseases. I no longer need to mimic my mother's diseases. I no longer need to carry my mother's limitations. I no longer need to mimic my mother's limitations. For Alice, Mother Teresa showed up. That's awesome. Was your mother like that? Taking care of everybody else, always giving to everybody else. Vandana says, river was steadily flowing, difficult for mother to reach me as she approached, saw tears and guilt on her face. She kept rolling her hand on my face, kissed her hand, and finally we went together ahead, hand in hand. Tailbone vibrated with heaviness, felt so good to be with her, so worried about me on her face. You can leave now. Chantal says goddess was a glowing white golden goddess with baby at her breast. Beautiful. Even Sumati had a most peaceful and calm river. And even before I'd said bridge, she saw the bridge and was crossing over to meet her. Sally says, my river was moving swiftly. I saw my mother as she was in her later years. She didn't want to meet me on the bridge. My mother didn't want to meet me on the bridge. You can leave now. My mother doesn't want to meet me. You can leave now. My mother doesn't want to have anything to do with me. You can leave now. I am an unwanted child. You can leave now. My mother didn't want to mother me. You can leave now. My mother didn't want me. You can leave now. You can all 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 leave now. Sally, I'm just going to check if you are on my dashboard. Okay, you're not. I would have loved to have done one communication call with the mother for you, with you. And will everybody please confirm, am I audible? Oh, thank you, Vandana. Thank you. Oh, great. Oh, great, Swati. Awesome. Awesome. Tell me, my darlings, who is willing to come on to speak to their mother? You see, the mother that we're going to be speaking to is the mother we've known, but also the goddess mother, as in the goddess who is the mother, the goddess who is in the mother who is the goddess. So while we could have two different voices show up from the same person, let us see what our mothers have to say to us. What is the message that she can leave us with? What can she give us that will allow us to have and easy, calmer next couple of weeks. As Neptune goes direct, Neptune will also need some time. The waves will need some time to settle down. Not very long, but some time at least. What can we do to make sure that we feel fully able and competent and confident to manage our emotions? Chantal says, I didn't want to take her hand. I did. I did not feel much. Did you take her hand as the goddess? I don't want to be with my mother. You can leave now. I don't want to take my mother's hand. You can leave now. I don't want anything to do with my mother. You can leave now. My mother doesn't want anything to do with me. You can leave now. My mother does not love me. You can leave now. My mother does not know how to love me. You can leave now. I forgive myself for having a mother who didn't want to have anything to do with me, and for being the same kind of mother any time that I may have been. You are forgiven now. I forgive myself for having a mother who didn't care, who couldn't care, who wouldn't care. And I forgive myself for all the times that I have been the same way. You are forgiven now. If you're willing to come on, my darlings, please raise your hand or tell me on the group itself. Shanta, let me check. You're not on my dashboard. Did you sign up as anonymous, my girl? Sally, you're also not showing on my dashboard, my love. So you'll have probably called on the broadcast or not called on the broadcast. I always forget which one it is that allows you to show up on the dashboard. Oh, we have Swati and we have Vandana. Fantastic. And Shailaja, you're also on. So tell me if you would like to come on and try this. I know this is new for you right now. You've never done a communication series with me or us here. But tell me if you'd like to give it a shot and see if you can raise your hand to say yes. Chantal, you didn't take the goddess's hand. See the goddess coming over and take her hand and then walk off together. Hi Nitin. Let me check. And is it Nitin? You are somebody else, right? You join as Nitin. So I can't tell. Let me see. With Swati and Vandana. So the communication series is always between two people. One person holds the space of the goddess mother and the other person is the other person. And then we do a role reversal. Vandana, say hello. Swati, say hello.
Hi, Nidhu.
Hi Swati, everybody please say hi to Swati. Chantal, there
Hi.
you are. Hi. One second. And Shailaja, there you are as well, but your hand went off. All right. Vandana, I'm sorry, my love, we are not being able to hear you at all.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, there
Are
you
you
are.
able to? Huh.
Vandana, the voice is not clear, my darling. There's a lot of disturbance
Hello.
in the background.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Swati, can you hear Vandana?
Yes, I can. Nidhu, can you hear me?
We can hear you, my love. You're clear.
Lovely. Okay.
Okay. Vandana, just hang in there, ma. Just hang in there. I'm gonna put Swati with Chantal right now.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Chantal.
Hi, Nidhu.
So nice to hear from you. Everybody, please
Oh,
say hello to Chantal. Chantal, say hello to everybody.
hi, everyone. Oh, I'm happy now. I was crying a second ago.
Hi.
Swati, say hi to Chantal. Chantal, say hi to Swati.
Hi, Chantal.
Hi, Swati.
Swati,
I'm so
will
glad I'm here.
thank you.
Yes, me too. I'm glad you're here.
Swati, will you hold the space for the goddess mother, the mother goddess, right now? Can we begin with Chantal, being Chantal?
Yes, yes, please.
Great. So Chantal,
Yes.
you're going to address Swati as how you address your mother. So you have to greet her like that first. So whether you say hi or whether you say hello or whether you bark at her, however it is that you can and will greet your mother, you have to greet your mother like that right now.
Allô, maman. I I speak to her in French, but I'll speak in English here. But I say allô, maman.
Hello. So do we start, Nidhu?
Yes, you'll have actually already started. I can see the matrix coming down and anchoring
Yes,
itself. But
lovely.
go
Hello,
ahead now.
Chantal.
Allô, maman. Uh, oh, I don't know
Tell me.
what I'm. Pardon?
So
Tell
the
me,
mother,
what can I do for you?
go ahead.
Mm, it's nice to hear your voice. You sound very calm and kind. I it
I'm
feel
always,
it. I'm listening because I don't trust this. It's very strange for me that you sound so calm and kind, and your energy is very calm and embracing and loving, and I don't quite trust that. It's unusual for me.
I am always like that. It's just that you probably don't see that part in me.
No, I don't see that part of you. Very seldom. I haven't seen it very much in my whole life, if ever, for me, anyway.
I have a very strong headache here.
All right, I'm dispersing the matrix. Swati, you are Swati now. Chantal, you are already Chantal. Chantal,
Yes.
we're going to change this. Swati, can you see why you have a headache?
It's very heavy in my head, yes.
So, is there anger with the child?
Yeah, it's a feeling of unwantedness.
Is it your unwantedness or is it you not wanting the child?
It's my unwantedness.
Mm.
So I want you to say, I apologize for putting my unwantedness on you.
I apologize for putting my unwantedness onto you.
Check the heaviness.
Yeah. It's a sudden release. It's just a sudden release.
Fantastic. I also saw, Swati, that that immediately, as soon as you said I have a headache, that the headache also came from a message to not message, sorry, from a conflict in being a mother. Like,
Mm.
you were being asked to be the mother. The matrix was pushing you to be the mother, but you had no desire to be the mother. So there was this battle that started in the head. Would that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I I just started feeling very heavy, you know, in my head and pins and needles in my hands
Right.
immediately when you said, you know, so
Chantal, how are you
that,
feeling? Sorry.
I have a bit of heat in my belly, which was so heavy before, like a stone. And the explanation that you gave about not wanting to be a mother totally fit uh, in my family from my mother and yeah,
For you too?
many generations, I believe.
Right. And did that show up for you too?
Yes, it did. I battled against it, but it did also. Yeah, I wanted better or different.
Right.
I
And how
did
was
my best.
it with your child? Did you want your child?
for me, Nidhu,
No. No, for Chantal.
Oh, I'm afraid to say publicly.
Okay. Sorry. Mothers who couldn't be
Maybe.
mothers, mothers who wouldn't be mothers, mothers who didn't want to be mothers, mothers who were forced to be mothers, mothers who were raped into being mothers, mothers who were burdened into being mothers, coming down 7 generations of 7 elder mothers and 7 elder fathers on my mother's side, your mother's side, my father's side, your father's side. You can all leave now 100 trillion times. You can all leave now, 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 you can all leave now. You can all leave now. You can all leave now, 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 you can all leave now. You can all leave now. I no longer need to be defined by my unwanting and unwanted mother. I no longer need to carry my mother's unwantedness. I no longer need to mimic my mother's unwantedness. I return this to my lineage to be dispersed and healed now. Chantal, how's the heat in the belly?
Um, it's there. It's a bit less. I'm feeling some tightness in the body. Uh, I am aware of some relief.
So tightness usually comes when, you know, how we tighten our hold on something, like it doesn't want to go. So I don't want to heal this relationship with my mother. You can leave now. I don't want to heal the relationship as a mother. You can leave now. I don't want to change anything with the mother. You can leave now. I don't want to let go of how it used to be and is with my mother. You can all leave now. 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 Chantal, would you be comfortable to say relationship with my mother, deactivated, disassembled? Swati, would you be comfortable to say it?
I missed your voice in between, Nidhu.
No worries. So would you be comfortable, everybody on the group, would you be comfortable to say relationship with my mother, deactivated, disassembled?
Relationship with my mother, deactivated,
Disassembled.
reassembled. This
Tell me what reaction you have the moment you say it.
relationship with mother, deactivated. There is tightness, Nidhu. Feeling very tight.
Feeling very tight. And this is very normal. When we start working on a relationship with the father or the mother, but especially the mother, it becomes very, very difficult to change it because you see, the way our relationships have been with our parents, the way our relationships have been with our children, the way our relationships have been in our childhood, all of these are how we make sense of the world. So we understand women are like this, men are like this. We understand my mother will do this, therefore most women will do this. My father will do this, therefore most men will do this. We have some signposts about how to lead our lives. So they become very defining characteristics for how we waddle, toddle, walk, run through life. When we start changing this, we can feel very ungrounded, very unsafe, very unstable. Because how will we make sense of the world now? All the definitions that we had. If you didn't know what a door was, you wouldn't know what to do with it. If you didn't know what a cat was or a dog was, we might try to eat it. Our definition, right? If you don't know what a chair is, you could make it an art piece and stare at it for the rest of your life because you have no clue what it is. So all the times that we change a definition, when we change a label, my mother is a good mother. My mother is a bad mother. We need that adjective. We need that label. So anytime we try to change that, it starts changing the relationship with the mother, and the mother is the first God in our lives. And God is everything, right? It's the universe, it's the world, it's source, it's presence. So changing the most defining relationship of our lives does bring about tightness, anxiety as well, overwhelm. You could feel so overwhelmed at changing this. And having said that, this is also the last mile in a healing journey. Never a consistent mile. You cannot work on the mother today, tomorrow, day after till it is all healed. You do a little bit of that, you do something else. You do a little bit of that, you do something else. You return to it, you go away. You return to it, you go away. Because it is such a frightening relationship to heal and change, because all healing is change and all change is healing. And both of them have to do with letting go. So everything that you're experiencing right now, which is the fear of changing the relationship with your mother, tell me, my darlings, isn't it your secret desire to change your relationship with your mother?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I would like to just say something here that everything in my life that I have learned from my mother is because she didn't do it right.
Right.
For me, I learned to take care of people because she never took care of people.
Right.
I learned to cook because she never cooked.
Super.
So for me, everything came across in a way because she didn't do it correctly. I was taught by default to do it correctly.
Did you thank her for that?
Today, yes, I will thank her now for that.
So basically, you developed your skills and talents and gifts because your mother didn't.
Yes.
How wonderful. So hasn't she been the perfect mother?
Yes. Yes.
It's
So yesterday was Thanksgiving, but we took a little bit of that energy into our work today as well to thank our mothers for what they did or didn't do, for what they said, didn't say, for how they stood up for us, for how they didn't stand up for us, for how they threw us under the bus, for how they saved us from the bus. Whatever it was, everything our mothers have done have brought us to this point of success, independence, freedom, using our voice, getting onto the healing journey. Because the fact is, my darlings, we are all expressions of our parents. We are expressions of their gifts. We are expressions of their baggages. We are expressions of their anger. We are expressions of their talents. We are expressions of their desires. So, for a mother who didn't cook, the desire to cook would have been there, which is why the child now expands on that. For mothers who didn't want to be mothers, who wanted to be free, who didn't want to be yoked to a relationship, she will have children who will have more freedom. Chantal, would this be correct for you? Do you have more freedom today?
oh yes, much more freedom. And my mother never liked my way because I always did a lot and I did it my way.
Fantastic. So we have to thank
Mhm.
for that because she forced you to do it your way. In being who she is, you had to be who you are.
Yes. And
Her say.
I just wanted to say, Nidhu, that I feel a deep layer of calmness. That's what I felt after the last decree. Not fully calm, but one very deep layer of calmness.
Super, super, super. Excellent, my loves. But here we have not completed this because here's what we're going to say next. We are going to say relationship with my mother, repaired, restored.
Relationship with my
Relationship
mother,
with my mother, repaired,
repaired,
restored.
restored.
And now see how you feel.
Woohoo! That's my reaction.
Nice. Swati, how are you doing?
Very calm, very calm. I was breathing heavy. I'm breathing much better now.
Okay, I have a sense that we repaired and restored a little quickly. Like I feel we could do a little more deactivations and disassemblements. So shall we just do it one more time? So relationship with my mother, deactivated, disassembled. Everybody on the group, please do. Like Dr. Asha said,
Relationship with my mother,
go ahead.
deactivated, disassembled.
Relationship with my mother, deactivated, disassembled. Now.
I no longer need to mimic or carry my mother's abuses. I no longer need to carry my abusive mother. I no longer need to mimic my abusive mother. I no longer need to carry my mother's traumas. I no longer need to mimic my mother's traumas. I no longer need to be limited by my mother. I no longer need to be defined by my mother's definitions. I no longer need to be defined by my mother's limitations. I no longer need to be defined by my mother's judgments. I no longer need to be defined by my mother's criticism. I no longer need to be defined by my mother's not good enoughness. I no longer need to be defined by my mother's misogynies. Wow, that's a big one too, right? How our mothers will behave differently with the boys and the men and the brothers in the family. So I no
Oh,
longer
yes.
need to be defined by my mother's misogyny. I no longer need to be defined by my mother's sociopathy. I no longer need to be defined by my mother's chauvinism. I no longer need to be defined by my mother. How are you reacting, Swati?
Very well. Can't believe the way it's all just sliding down, I feel.
Nice.
Yes.
Chantal, how are you doing? And whenever you're ready, my love, please check again on the bridge. If we had mothers who didn't meet us, Sally Ann, please check. If we had mothers who didn't want to hug us, mothers who didn't even come on the bridge, just check and see what's happening right now. Also, when you have to repair and restore a relationship, first deactivate and disassemble. Because whatever's going on in the relationship becomes one gigantic rock and stone and boulder. And if you go to repair, restore, the energy would have to do too much work. So if you loosen up the rock, if you break it down into smaller pieces, it's easier to haul away, right? So you break it down with the deactivated and disassemble, and then repair and restore. Give this at least 48 hours to show up in the external world. How are you doing, Chantal?
Oh, I'm good. I'm sorry. I think I got cut off and I came back in.
Okay.
Nidhu, do we say deactivate, disassemble, and then we say deactivated,
Yes.
disassembled?
Yes, my love. That is the technically correct way to do it. Because first you give the instruction for it
Yes.
to begin, and then you give the instruction for it to have ended.
Thank you.
And then repair and restore. But give it some time, my darlings, because these are, these are part of our DNA programs. Our mothers are our mothers because of their mothers and their mothers going back 7 generations. Wasn't her fault. She did the best that she could with what she knew. We know better. And for all of y'all who are on the healing journey, please know, my darlings, that either your mother or your father had a desire to heal something, change something. Like 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 I've seen my mother while growing up exercise, and that gives me such a great desire to. And I remember how she would do her forward bends and her side bends and the swinging of hips while you try to touch the opposite toe. And it's a great memory. It's a very inspiring memory because we also learn from seeing. We don't just learn by what we are told. So the things my mother has done, how she does her prayers, her rituals, how she celebrates our customs, how she keeps the house, how I know how to lay the table when I have a guest over. Sometimes I like to do it for myself also. The difference between home cutlery and guest cutlery. These are such important aspects of civilization, of social behaviors. And our mothers show us that because it's our mothers who take care of guests when they come over. How to make a bed, I learned from my mother. And I'm vain about it, that nobody can make the bed as well as I can. How to tuck in, how to fluff, how to put the bed cover, how there must always be a bed cover and a bed sheet, how it must get changed at least once or twice a week. And by the way, my darlings, did I tell you all this? I think on a money call, I had said is if you want to change your energies and you're willing to take some physical action around it, try changing your bed covers every third day and see what happens for your life in 3 weeks. Just see what happens. It's just incredible. Vandana,
Nidhu, you said every Thursday?
no, every 3 days. So the fourth day you change it. So you keep it only for 3 days. And very important, my darling, for us to start new chapters in our lives, which we do every day. Every day when we wake up, it's a brand new day. We may not feel like that, and I have seen that happens if we have a lot of clutter in the house. And by the way, decluttering is also something I learned from my mother. How to keep clothes in the cupboard, the neatness, the tidiness of a house, all of that from her. Thank you, Mom. And I was saying something else. Yeah, that every morning when you get up and you're out of bed, you must shake the bed cover. Not just dust it. You must take it out from the edges on the side and you must shake it. It's a way of letting go of all of the energies that have accumulated till that night. And you will find yourself more energized. You'll find yourself doing much more in a day. So, yes to that, and thank you, Vandana. I no longer need to suffer as my mother suffered. I no longer need to carry worry my mother carried of the family tree. I no longer need to carry my mother's illnesses. You can leave now. Be gone, be gone, be gone. Removed. Correct. I no longer need to worry like my mother. How many mothers in the house? How much we worry, right, about our little ones? Yes. And for those who don't have children, we'll have babies in our life. We'll have companies, we'll have pets, we'll have plants, but invariably some baby mother energy is always playing out in our lives. So I no longer need to mimic my mother's worries. I no longer need to mimic my ancestral maternal worries. I no longer need to be defined by my mother's worries. I no longer need to worry like my mother worries. I no longer need to worry like my maternal ancestors worried. I no longer need to worry.
Nidhu, so I have a question.
You go ahead.
Most of my things I feel I was shaped by my mother-in-law.
Interesting.
Like my mannerism.
Have water, everybody. I just did. Prema, tell me a little bit more. When you say shaped, do you mean mold or do you mean better?
All my manners, all the right things to do. I think I got more shaped with my mother-in-law than my mom.
Right. So you learned much more from her?
Yes.
Fantastic. Please thank her as well. However she may have been in general.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chantal. And let's have our other two people on. Shailaja, Vandana, I'm going to try you now.
Thank you, Nidhu.
Thank you. Everybody say bye to Chantal. Say bye to Swati. Vandana?
Yeah, hello.
There you are. All right, still some disturbance in the background, but let's give it a shot. Yeah, Shailaja, I'm unmuting you now.
Hello.
Hi, Shailaja.
Hello.
Vandana, we can hear you.
Okay. Huh.
Shailaja? Shailaja, you are unmuted. Just check if you've muted yourself. Shailaja, so sorry, not being able to hear you. Rupali, would you be comfortable to come on? Oh, Shailaja, you joined again. All right, let me try you again. Hi again, Shailaja. Sorry. Okay, so you are not. Anybody else? You want to put your hand up? Rupali, I'm not seeing you on the Facebook chat, but anybody else to put hand up? All right, Vandana, you and I will do it.
Okay. Wow. Such a lovely thing. Oh God. So nice.
Okay, have water.
Yeah.
Let me just get some more water. Give me 1 second. Settling into the matrix right now. Hi, Vandana.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? You're sounding
I'm,
so sweet.
I'm, I haven't spoken to you in a long time, I feel. How have you been doing? You've been on my mind. I worry about you.
I'm fine. Why you keep worrying about me? I also keep worrying about you. How are you selling out? What is bothering you? The time will take its own time. It will take its own time. You have to just have confidence and move ahead.
Yes, but it
Don't
breaks.
keep worrying about me. It's a
And
life. Hello.
go ahead.
Ha, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's so easy for you to say, Beta, but when I think about you and I see how you're managing everything and you're so alone and you don't have any support, I worry, I feel guilty, I feel bad, I feel like there's something I should have done, could have done, and I just want to say that I'm so sorry for any way that I have let you down, that I didn't take care of you better. Like I wish I could have given you so much more money. And I know you know how it was at home, but I wanted you to have more money. And I want you to have more money. I get very worried when I think that you might be in debt or you might have to pay back people and how will you manage. And I know that I'm also projecting my own concerns and I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop doing that. I just want you to know that I care very much for you. I have so much love for you and you have a very special place in my heart and I want nothing more than for you to be happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm, I'm feeling, tears are rolling out, but what has happened, we cannot change. Let us forgive each other. I have forgiven you. You forgive me for all the mistakes. I have learned this from you that we, we should not hold on anything, speak out, work hard. I'm trying my level best. I want your support. I want you to take care of me.
You have my support. You have my support. tell me in what way you would leave it. Maybe I could speak to you more often. And I also want to tell you, Vandu, that you didn't make any mistakes. You were just learning. You were just growing. They were not mistakes. They were, I'm sorry that I made you feel like like that you made these mistakes and that you're not good and that you're not good enough and that you're a mistake and you should have known better and you should have done better. I'm really sorry. It was my own stress that I was projecting on you. You know how it was at home. It was not very nice and easy with your father, and I was also just doing my best. So I feel very guilty about how I've made you feel bad, and I wish I hadn't done it. I'm sorry. You don't have to ask for any kind of forgiveness. You have already been forgiven. I forgot also about the things you would do. In that moment, I said whatever I said, but I never took it to heart. You're a very good child. You are my very good daughter. You are like a son. You've been better than a son. And I know that we don't talk like this because
No,
I'm
we
not,
joke.
and I'm a little uncomfortable, but the truth is that I do love you. And I've always loved you and will always love you. And I will always be there for you.
I pray to you that you please remove me out from this mess of mine.
It is
I'm
being removed.
really tired working now.
It is being removed. And you know, I must say this to you as well, that you are defined by the work you do. It's not like you don't want to work. It's like you don't want to do some kinds of work. You are a very hard worker, and your self worth, your self esteem, all of that comes from the fact that you never shy away from working. You never say no to working. So the things that you don't want to work on right now, allow yourself to to do it in ways that make you feel better about doing it and give the rest to me. I'll do it.
I just want to be out of this mess of whatever I've in a debt. I want to be free. I want to really be free from everything, live a life with joy. I don't want to carry the burdens which you carry till the end, worrying about everyone. I want to be free. I want to work for myself.
Immediately give me all of these worries. You don't have to carry them for me. You are not meant to carry them for me, and I'm so sorry that I put them on you, that I dumped them on you. Please return them all. They are not for you to carry. We will carry it. Me, my mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother, we will carry it, we will disperse of it. You don't have to anymore.
Thank you so much. I'm feeling so relieved you have taken it. And I know you will really keep me worry free, take care of me, take care of Arui. Thank you so much for being my support, my pillar, guiding me to walk on the path I am to work for.
I'm hugging you, and we are on the bridge, and we're going to walk together to the other side, to a new reality. Relationships with our mothers deactivate, disassemble. Relationships with our mothers deactivated, disassembled. Relationships with our mothers repaired, restored. Dissolving the matrix. Thank you, Vandana. Have some water. Have some water, everybody. Please say thank you to Vandana. Vandana, say bye to everybody.
Thank you, Nidhu. It was really like talking to my mother to listen to the word Vandu, which she always said. I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. This is so much fun. I can't remember what was said.
It was exactly what had happened and I mean, it was like my mother I could see from the opposite side. I'm so blessed that I got a conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for saying that. You are so nice. Thank you, my girl. Thank you.
Thank you.
Say bye to everybody, Mom.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Everybody, say bye to Vandana. And tell me, how are you all doing? What can you give thanks for today to your mother? Please make a list. Write it down. I thank you, Mom, for, or I thank you, Ma, for dash, 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 dash. You didn't do this. I got to be an expert at it. You said that. Look at what I have created from that. What did your mother create in you? What has she created for you? In all the ways that she did, didn't, said, didn't say. And how are you all doing right now? Let us complete and come full circle, my darling. See your mother on the other side of the river. Check the river. How is the river now? And I want you to see a rainbow starting out from your mother. So the rainbow starts from her feet, goes through her entire body, curves over the river, comes down into your head and grounds you there. See if you can receive the rainbow relationship of your mother. And you can see your mother, you can see the goddess, you can see your mother and how different she is from the first time you saw your mother across the river bank. As soon as the rainbow has grounded through your body and down your feet into the ground, I want both of you all to start walking towards the bridge. Climb onto the bridge. Meet halfway. Of course, the rainbow starts becoming smaller and smaller, but there is also the shadow of the rainbow that stays where you all both were standing. On the bridge with the rainbow going through you as well as her. I want you all to now link arms together like your best friends, like you're meeting your girlfriend. And I want you to start walking to the other side and walk away into this new reality and this new relationship. I no longer need to be jailed by my mother. I no longer need to be imprisoned by my mother. I no longer need to be held back by my mother. I no longer need to be stuck in this relationship with my mother. I no longer need to be wounded with my mother. I no longer need to carry my mother's wounds. I no longer need to mimic my mother's wounds. And everything and everyone and anything and anyone from your family, your ancestral lineage, and your past lives that won't let you have this newness with your mother, you can all leave now. Be gone, be gone, be gone. Removed. Thank you very much, my darling, for making the time this morning. Please do stick around because today evening, the Mystic Lotus and Dragonflies Healers Training Tele Summit begins at 6 p.m. or is it 5? Today in the evening it begins, and all of y'all would have gotten the link. Please do join it. Please do come. And for those of y'all doing the goddess work with me, tomorrow is our last call, which is the communication series with money, with goddess blessings. For those of y'all who would like to join, that is right now at $88 and 7,007 rupees. We will take about a couple of hours, maybe a little more, and we will do a lot of communications. Even though two people take center stage in the communication, the messages that come are for all of us. So to know what your money is saying to you and what it wants you to do and how it wants you to be there on tomorrow's call. Thank you once again, my darling. Big love, big hug. Namaste from India.